back to the channel. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn them notifications on. Hope everyone's keeping well and safe. We're back today, back with another video, and as you've already seen by the title, you're right, we are now on the slurry job. So I'm back at home today, back working on the farm. Last video we saw me loading spreaders up at another farm. The reception to that video very good. Thank you all for the comments and likes and so on and so on. Well, we're back at home, so we've took the opportunity. Ground's starting to dry. 18th of March today, and well, the slurry tower's full. We need to get some slurry out, so that's what I'm doing today. So I've got the MX120 hooked up to our Abbey tanker today, and this is actually the first slurry video I've done in almost 12 months, believe it or not. And last year I quite liked our slurry videos, so I thought we'd revisit this one. So we're lugging across now to a 9-acre field down over here. This is what we call the mushroom field. I've never seen a mushroom on it in my life, but apparently it used to grow lots of them. I mean, there's got to be a reason it's called that. So the plan for today, this slurry is very thick. Initially we were actually toying with the idea of getting the umbilical lads here to come and pump this out, just because we didn't want to be making the mess across the middle field, which is a grazing pasture, with a traction tanker. But after steering the tower, we quickly realised that it probably wasn't an option. It wasn't gonna happen. Slurry was very thick, so we've took the decision to lug it out ourselves, and I'm the man for the job. So hopefully ground conditions are good now, very good. I mean, we wouldn't be spreading if they weren't. This field I'm going on to today is one of our silage fields, so you know, the last thing you want to be doing on your silage ground is making a mess, rutting it. Hopefully, if it stays dry like it is now, hopefully the cows will go out next week, which would be very nice, very nice. Very jealous of anyone that's got cows out at the minute. This winter seems to have dragged somehow. I think it's because the cows come in a little bit earlier than usual this year. We were in the beginning of October, and I know the last year was the same, but the 3 years prior to that, we was November before we brought them in. So it just goes to show how the weather patterns seem to be shifting, but it just drags on a little bit now, the winter. It's nice when the sun comes out, but when the sun comes out, you're almost sat there thinking, God, I'd love to see my cows in that field now. So hopefully they'll go out next week. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Trying not to spread this slurry too thick on here. Main reason being, we don't want to be in a situation, I mean, we're probably 8 weeks away yet from silage time, so the chances are this slurry will have long gone by then. But what we don't want to be doing is, if we over apply the slurry now, it's not going to have gone off the grass quick enough by the time we actually come to silage, and then we're just going to end up lugging this back into the silage bin. We might as well just trash the whole field if we're going to do that. So we've got to be a little bit careful, especially with the slurry being thick as it is. We don't want to get over applying it and end up lugging it back in. But at the moment I think we're about right. So the tank holds 1,300 gallons for anyone wondering. I've covered this in videos before, but if you are new around here, that's the tanker we've got. It's a little bit on the small side, but at the end of the day it does the job. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, we have to lug a few more loads in on people with bigger tankers, but at the end of the day, when the slurry's applied to the field, it's no different. So it does us for what we want, and that's the main thing. So there's our setup today, and just a quick show of how we're doing this. We've fenced the yard a little bit differently, so you'll see here we've got some cows in the top cubicles, and then we've put this strand of electric wire up here so that the cows can come out of there, come out here to eat down the barrier, and also go in there to lie down. At the moment we are down slightly on numbers on cows, so what's brilliant about that is it gives us the ability to actually do it like this. There's 45 cows around here milking at the moment. We've got a ruck of dry cows penned off in a shed around the other side, so having them not milking has worked out in our favour a little bit, because we can set the shed up like this and not have to worry. So I can tank all day today up until milking time without any problems at all. There is the setup. It's going well at the moment. I'll just take you up to the tower, and that is the slurry in there. So yeah, very thick this time. There's not an awful lot of water gone into that. So yeah, we'll get this tanker filled up and get the load down the field. On to day 2 now of slurry job. Finished yesterday around about 4 o'clock, and I coated around about half the field, so going very well. Should quite, we're not going to say that one. Hopefully we'll finish today. I'm not going to go with the other option because that encourages something to go wrong. So hopefully we will finish today. So we're pushing on now to have emptying around about half of the tower, I would say. I've not quite got down to seeing the full first ring or the top ring, but we're not far away. So I would say there'll be enough slurry in that tower to coat this field we're on today, and then I'm hoping to do a little 5-acre field on the ground we rent up the top. If that's dry enough, I'm going to take the rest of the slurry up to there and totally empty the tower now. If not, we will leave it, add some water to it to try and just thin it down a little bit. Obviously it'll have the slurry and muck off the yard between now and first cut silage, and then probably apply that up onto that middle bank where we do silage after first cut. It's looking like it could do with a little bit of slurry, so it wouldn't hurt it to have a slight coating. So if we're going to do that one, we'll do it after first cut. This time of year is not really ideal for going up on the banks because you've obviously got the top of the ground still a little bit greasy and a little bit loose, so it's quite a struggle to tank up there. So we tend not to go up there in the winter at all. We have done before because we've spread them across, but if we can, we try and keep off them. I mean, not only are you going to start making a mess, but if you've got a greasy surface on a hill, it's kind of asking for trouble. So we try not to do that. What is that there? Oh. Well, that's interesting. Our shoe. Obviously, not going to wear that on my foot. The shoe off the tanker has decided to drop off. So, yeah, there's no shoe on there anymore. Oh, and I've dropped the pin. Where'd that pin go? Oh, there it is, look. Ah. Well, at least it ain't going to catch in the ground when we're going through the ruts now. There's always a positive to take from that. I'm not putting that in the cab with me. But it can stay on the step. So there's all the ground that we've covered. You'll see, just about the right thickness. Probably could have gone a little bit thicker, but... And then there's where we've got to do yet. We're getting a nice even spread with the tanker today. And there we go. Travelling at about 2.5 miles per hour, which is covering the ground nicely. I've just got a little bit at the end, because this field's such an odd shape, it goes longer in that nook. What I'm doing is just spreading this longer ground, and then I'll take a couple of loads into that corner and just spread it out. But I'm trying not to go across the field where the middle is. I'm trying to keep going this way, just because if we do make any dips in the ground, we're not going to end up having to travel across them when we're on the silage, because it makes it rough. When you make a field rough, you're on to break the tack. So that is that one. And there we go. So we have just finished spreading the last load of today, and the last load on the field. So it's around about, not bad for timing, it is 25 to 4 now, which 25 minutes before milking we've finished, which is brilliant. I have lugged out just over half of the slurry tower, which is what I'd aimed to do, and we've totally covered the field that we've seen us spreading on. So that's good. That field's been crying out for slurry. It's only fresh seeds. It was only its first cut of grass last year, so it was its first year. It's just going into its second. but just looking a little bit of a yellowy colour throughout the whole of the winter. So we decided, out of all the fields that we got, looking at the grass on them, that was the field that was crying out for the slurry most. So we've gone on there, put it on there. The other field that I'm going to be putting slurry on is a 5-acre field on the land that we rent up the top. There'll be just about enough left in the slurry tower to do that field. So my aim with that one will be to totally empty the slurry tower onto that field, and all should be well, and then we'll be totally empty then going into the spring. There'll be a little bit more slurry to go in, obviously, with the cows coming on the yard every day, twice a day, and also they are still in at the moment. There's nothing to say the weather won't change next week, and will be another 3 weeks before the cows do go out. So now we have, as it is, got enough storage to last us probably until first cut silage comes off now, but hopefully I want to empty it, and then that does give us the ability then of, there's quite a lot of silt and sediment in the bottom of that tower, so it'd be nice to get something in there and clean that out between now putting any more slurry in it. But whether we do or not, that's another question. Anyway, that brings us to the end of today's video. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next one.